Next tonight, a charity boss who prompted the country's first major grooming gang case has told us that victims now need action, not more inquiries. It's over 14 years since Sheila Taylor helped several girls in Derby put their abusers behind bars. Operation Retriever lifted the lid on the national scandal that's now at the centre of a furious political row. Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball is here. Jeremy, just remind us of what happened in Derby.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you were watching this programme back in 2010, you will remember just how horrendous these crimes were. Girls as young as 12 abused by groups of men, at least one of them held prisoner and then raped. Another victim told me how men who were evil lured her with free ice cream and free meals, even making her think that she was their girlfriend. And this footage shows how they targeted girls at random in Derby. They'd ask for mobile phone numbers, then they'd bombard their victims with texts, even driving into school car parks. And we can show you here one of the ringleaders buying vodka to ply them with drink. This is Mohammed Learkat, along with Abid Sadiq, who were jailed for at least 8 and 11 years. Several other men receiving shorter terms. And Sarah, that first investigation began after Sheila Taylor persuaded some of those victims to go to the police. But she told me today that she does not support a new national inquiry because she thinks all of this has been covered in that wider independent inquiry into child sexual abuse.
The inquiry that Professor Alexis Jay conducted was very thorough. I think it took in all of the aspects that we needed it to take in. It's now important for me that we concentrate on the recommendations that she made, making sure that they're implemented properly. We have got progress on a few of them, but we need them all to be addressed and we need them all to be responded to. And that would incorporate all of these things that are being discussed at the moment.
And this is making the headlines again, isn't it?
And it is, and that's because there is still a huge row over whether this has been properly investigated. Big questions, particularly about why so many of the suspects had Pakistani heritage and whether people turned a blind eye and left children to be abused simply because of political correctness. Now, others argue that this debate is really about culture wars, and Sheila Taylor thinks it could actually mean other victims get ignored.
I would say there's lots of groups that offend against girls and boys in this way, and that we need to look at them all. It happens across faith and sport and cultural communities. We need to be exploring all of them and not focused on one in particular.
And Sheila wants more action from social media firms.
She does, particularly less encryption. She thinks that could go a long way to protecting more children from grooming gangs. Interesting, that one. Very similar to a point we heard from the Police and Crime Commissioner in Derbyshire last week.
Absolutely. Jeremy, thank you so much for that.